Guys, welcome to another UK scale and crawler video. This is basically a retake of the MIP shaft build. Reason being, I wasn't feeling too great yesterday. I was feeling rather awful, if I'm honest. I forced myself to do a video anyway, and all you could hear all the way through it was me sniffling because I wasn't well. I'm still not 100% today, but my nose isn't as bad as what it was, so I feel quite a bit better. So thought I'd take the other video down and do a retake of it without me snorting my head off all the way through it because I'm not well. So anyway, yeah, MIP shafts, best shafts you'll ever get. You'll never snap them. They're second to none. You know, the quality of them's unbelievable. They're really smooth. Right, I'll show you now. They're unbelievable. As I said, you'll never ever snap a shaft. You might snap a pin, but if you snap a pin, it's quite easy to make one. There's a guy called Teddy Shilson, I think his name is. He runs a YouTube channel called trcc.tv. Now, he's shown in there that if you snap a pin, you just go and get some drill bit blanks, shave a flat spot into the centre of it, stick your new pin in, put the grub screw up, and or the set screw should I say, and then away you go again. If the shafts ever start to round out slightly on the holes, so if they start to wear on that hole there, all you do is go up go up a little bit in size on the drill bit blank, put it in, take the slop out. So they're awesome shafts, you'll never break them. So may as well get on with building them. Now, what comes in a package, bear in mind, I've already got one on my truck, because I did actually make a video yesterday, as some of you seen, but it wasn't exactly my best work, shall we say. So yeah, anyway, so I've already got one on the truck. I'll try and show you now. Just need that a minute. As you can see, I've got one just there. You can get camera to focus up a touch. I do apologise for the lighting, but there's not really much I can do about it this very second. But yeah, so got one on the truck, really smooth, no notching, there's no grabbing or nothing like that, there's no cogging on the wheels, so the perfect fit, the tolerances like for the cups and everything, second to none, the machine perfectly. So yeah, basically what comes in the package, you bear in mind this is one shaft, so double everything. In fact, don't double everything, I'll just tell you. So you get 4 of these, which are the universal joints. So 4 of them, one of which is longer than the rest if you're running a honcho. They do 2 kits. Now in the standard kit there's 4 of them the same length, and then the honcho length one, which is 12.3 inch wheelbase, has a slightly longer rear one. It goes on the axle. That's just basically, it keeps you enough of the spline in the shaft. Now the shaft itself is splined, as I've just stated, so you don't get, well, you get virtually no slop in between the 2 halves of the shaft. No, there's nothing. Well, there's a minor tolerance, that's all, but my fingers are moving before the shaft is, if you know what I mean. So yeah, you get 2 of these, 2 of the splined ends of the shaft, well, 2 male ends, 2 female ends, 4 drive cups, 4 pins. Now on the pin it has like a little, I'm going to put it, there's a little divot that's cut out in it, if I can get it to sort of focus up. Right there, 1 second. No, that didn't work. There we go. There's that divot. Now that divot, so the set screw can butt up against it. So once you tighten the set screw down, that'll then straighten that pin out, and then the pin can't work its way out of either side. So you get 4 of them. You get 4 of the little pieces that go in the universe, like it's like a sleeve, basically a threaded sleeve. Now that pin, you put a set screw in the top of that, and then that pin then slides through the shaft and then through the centre of this, like that, and then the set screw goes in the top and butts down against it. So that's basically what consists of that. You get 4 set screws, and you also get the 4 bolts, or not bolts, you get 4 long set screws that go through the shaft and then through your axle. So, yep, right, we may as well start building. So to save a little bit of time, I've already put the set screw in there now. Also that comes with it, well, I think on, you got this, which has got grease on one side and a thread lock on the other. Now, you just open that up, obviously because I've already built this shaft once, there's no grease left in there, but you get the idea. There's grease on this side and then thread lock on that side. And you use the thread lock on your set screws, you use the grease on the little sleeve that goes inside the universal joint, and stick a little bit of grease on the pin that goes through it. But otherwise the rest of it, all you literally need to do is just stick a little bit of Loctite on and butt it up tight, and then you'll be absolutely fine. 1 second, sorry. Right, so to build them, you get one of them, it's a universal joint. Then you get this next piece, which is the sleeve that goes through. And what I have noticed, put the set screw with a little bit of Loctite on it into the sleeve before you start building the shafts. Reason being, once this has actually gone in and you've got the other end of the shaft, or you've got the end of the shaft on and you've slid your pin through, it's an absolute pig to pull the shaft far enough back to be able to get the set screw in the sleeve. So put the set screw in first. But once you've put your sleeve in anyway, get the shaft. Now that hole there will line up with that hole that goes through the centre there, which is on the sleeve. So you put that over, and then see if I can angle it so you can see. Yeah, there you go. So once you've got it like that, you then get your pin, which has got the little divot in the centre of it, and you slide that through the shaft, or slide that all the way through and out the other side. Now you need to make sure that that little divot is on the same side as your set screw. So I'll have to just do this off camera in a minute, because I can't really bend my arms into that shape to be able to do it on camera. So there we go, pins in. And once the pin's in, and you've got it all lined up so the flat spot is the same size as the set screw, stick your driver in, butt the set screw down, and then that's it. You've got one end done, nice and tight, no play. And yeah, so you put the longer end on the spline bit as well for the rear. So you run the spline bit going onto the axle, and then the female end that runs up onto your gearbox. I might well be wrong in saying that, but that's just the way I run mine. So yeah, there's one built. Now on to the next one. So as I said, get your sleeve, if you can see it. Right, and you get the set screw, that little thing there. Run the sets, put the set screw just slightly into the sleeve. So get hold of your sleeve and just screw it in a little bit, like that. So once you screwed it in a touch, it ends up like so. Hang on 1 second, I'm going to try and fix some lighting. There's the problem with no lighting sorted. Hope the wife doesn't come down. Oh, hope the wife doesn't come down and see where I've just put the lamp. But anyway, so yeah, you might be able to see that a bit better now. So you put the set screw in. Now as you can see, it's through there. Then once you've put the set screw in, get your other universal joint. Slide the sleeve with the set screw through the joint so the hole ends up in the middle like that. Now don't forget, you need to grease these up. So you need to stick a bit of grease onto the sleeve that goes in, and then just stick it in, and once you've put it in, just give it a spin like that, just so it moves the grease round, and then line your hole up so it's in the centre. Then get your shaft. Let's see if you can see where that hole is. Yeah, there. So then you get your shaft, you put that over the top like that. As you can see, there's a hole all the way through now. And then, as I said, I have to do this bit away from the camera because it's a bit of a pig to see otherwise. So, yeah, we get that in. Line up the pit. In fact, it'll probably be better showing you that as well. See if you can see that properly now. See the divot in the centre, that's what you need to line up with the set screw. So, you stick that in. And once you've put that in, which can be a bit fiddly, if I'm honest, but it's worth doing all day long. So, slide your pin through, so you end up with pin through the shaft, and then get your driver, just butt that down, and once you've butted it down, well, there you go. Now I've got two ends of the shaft, so they'll go together, and then they go on your rig. Now, when you put them on your rig, you see the way you've got the pin there, and the pin on that one. Right, make sure that you don't put them together with the pins opposite from each other. See the way they're lined up now? You don't want them where the pins are like that, so they're off centre, because if you do that it'll cause binding. So you always want to make sure that your pins line up in exactly the same place on either end, like that. So you bear with us 1 minute, I'll just do a quick jump cut and I'll move the camera around a little bit so you can see me installing it on the car. Just bear with us a sec. Right, well, I'm back. Now, as you can see, got the scx10 there now. I know the wiring doesn't look perfect on it, but that's sensor cable. That's going to end up getting zip tied down there. And then I've got 3 brushless wires running over, and then my battery wire. But the wires are really strong, so they don't touch the spare gear, and they're off to the right hand side. But anyway, this is about installing shafts, not about wiring. So, get your rig. Let's see if you can see. Looking like you can. Right, as you can see, you've got the input drive into your axle. So on that end, you want to run the male end with the splines on it, and make sure you've got the longer universal joints on, as you can see. Let's see if I can get them to go flat. There we go. As you can see, there's a major difference. So make sure you get the longer end. Right, and to install it, it's literally as easy as stick it on, slide it up, get your set screw. Once you've got your set screw, stick it on your driver. It's the longest set screw. See if I can get that to focus. Come on, there we go. So long set screw, it's just got a thread just on this end here. Once you've done that, stick that in the hole. It doesn't matter what side you put it in, both sides are threaded. So you stick that in, screw that so it's all the way butted down and tight. So once that's on, just give it a good turn. That end's now on nice and tight. So then next, we need to do the gearbox end. And to do the gearbox end, once you've got the bottom, I always put the bottom on first, I just find it easier. But don't forget, you need to make sure that your pin, if it focuses, come on camera, there we go. You need to make sure your pin lines up with your pin on that one. So you want it to go together with both pins in the same place. So turn the pin to that side on, and then turn that, no, that's one that hole too far forward, there we go. So now both pins are lined up, they're in the same place. Right, and once you've done that, then turn the prop shaft so it lines up with the hole in your gearbox, just there. Right, and then slip that on. So just give it a little spin so it lines up with the hole. And then once it's lined up with the hole, get your other set screw, nice long one again. That one. If it ever focuses up. Come on. You get the idea anyway. I do apologise, but there's not really much you can do. There we go. So with the one with the thread on, nice long one. And then make sure that your shaft's lined up with the hole. It needs to go slightly further forward. Make sure you put Loctite on this as well, on both ends. So give it a jiggle till it goes in. And then just butt that up tight like that. And once you've butted it up tight, there's your shaft done. So they have very, very, very little play in them. They reduce any slop that you had in your old shafts. Just completely forget about it. They're worth having all day long. Now these ones I got from Asia Tees. On the packaging for them it said $75, I think. That was from MIP themselves. But Asia Tees are selling them at the minute, at the date of this recording anyway, for $63 plus shipping. So instead of it being $75, it's $63. But yeah, if you go to Asia Tees' website, check them out. I think they're on the third page. Is it? Yeah, third page, just before the bottom, on the left hand side, if I remember rightly. If you go onto the scx10 link at the top, and then go down to the bottom, click on page 3. And once you clicked on page 3, just scroll most of the way down and you'll see them MIP shafts. But yeah, if you go onto there, check them out. I don't think you're going to find them cheaper anywhere else, if I'm honest. I might be wrong. You know, you might well find them cheaper, but for what I've seen, I can't find anywhere at the minute it's cheaper. So yeah, if you fancy a set, just shoot over to Asia Tees and get a set. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope this helps. It seems to have turned out up to now anyway far better than what the other one was, because I've been sniffing my head off all the way through it. So if you don't mind, if you can hit the subscribe button, click the like button for me as well, because that always helps majorly. And then share it within your communities as well. If you share the video, it gets more people seeing it, gets me more subscribers. The more subscribers I get, the more videos I get. I may well be doing a giveaway sometime in the next month or so as well. I've just got to make sure I've got the right parts before and make sure it's all kosher. But once I've done all that, then I may well be sorting out a giveaway as well. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. As I said, please subscribe, hit the like button and share it for me as well. Thanks guys, bye.